I have to review this movie out of obligation, as I watched it from beginning to end. Okay, let's talk about You People. So, You People. It's a brand new Netflix original comedy film written and directed by Ken Barris, the creator of Blackish and its spin-off shows on ABC, making this his directing debut in film, as it's also co-written and starring Jonah Hill. I don't really know how I'm going to make this review longer than it needs to be since it's a comedy. And when you review a bad comedy, how can I make it more than the sentence long? And that, my opinion is, it's not funny and I wouldn't recommend it. But I watched it, and that time can't go to waste since it's 2 hours long, which, okay, I'll just say this before I forget. Yes, it's longer than it needs to be. Yes, it is way too long. Like, it's longer than it needs to be. It has 10 minutes of credits, and even an hour 50 is too long. I'll say this, I think I had higher hopes than other people did when I saw the trailer, but moments after the trailer, I recalled myself, did they release a trailer for this before? And then I remembered it being featured in Netflix's movie lineup for last year, and it now only getting a trailer a couple weeks ago to be released in January 2023. To extend this review out, I'll have to ask the question, why is that? You know, were they ashamed of this or something? I don't think it's because they worried people would hate it. They needed a filler movie for January and decided to take it for its lineup for next year since they knew it'd be no one's favorite movie of 2022. But as 2023 has started off with many great films already, is You People surprisingly one of them? I already said it's bad, so no. What is You People actually about? Well, get ready for this brand new concept. It's about how white people are the worst. I don't want to sound like a stupid redneck. So, okay, what's the best way I can elaborate on this? Why am I pretending like I don't already have a way? I have the script right in front of me. Anyways, okay, it's not that... No, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so the premise is that Jonah Hill plays Ezra, who is Jewish and white. And after dating his girlfriend, Amira, played by Laura London, who is black and Muslim, they now have to meet each other's families when Jonah and Amira plan to get married. And get this, they don't get along with each other's families. Sure, you've heard this concept of meeting your loved one's family and screwing up and impressing them by making a fool of yourself, you know, in most rom-coms, or as a joke, or, you know, every other sitcom ever. But have you ever seen them tackle... oh, wait, I just remembered! Guess who's coming to dinner? So no! Plus everything that came out afterwards that did this. And to a much lesser extent. I didn't like Meet the Parents. I'm sure people do. I didn't. You know, I don't like the joke of, oh, I have to repress someone by being someone I'm not, or just wanting to make sure, you know, I say what they like. But, you know, it's been a while since I seen Guess Who's Coming to Dinner as well. But, you know, I do remember about that movie. You know, I remember that movie having great performances, dialogue, and realistic characters that felt like actual people of the time then, and even now, that knew what it said was important, and they didn't take it for granted. But, since it did come out in 1967, and... oh wait, no, they did remake it with Bernie Mac and Ashton Kutcher, and that movie had Ashton Kutcher in it, and I don't like Ashton Kutcher 90% of the time. Whatever. Now it's currently 2023. Or, well, in the movie it was supposed to be 2022, since they do reference it being 2022 in the movie, so, you know, it's just as timeless as that movie. Whatever. Does it do anything new or better or no? No, it does not. What can I say that hasn't already been said? This movie is bad. How bad is it? Not good. To elaborate on the plot, so Ezra's mother is Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and she's a Jewish mother who will remind you she's a Jewish mother stereotype. Well, Eddie Murphy plays Amira's father, and get this, he's black. Will they ever get along with one another? The first problem, as I said before, it's not funny. Guess Who's Coming to Dinner is a straight drama without high stakes or anything. It's realistic. People are people. And it's important to teach people about how they don't have to let, you know, where they come from define them. It's a part of them, but it's up to them themselves to decide how much of where they come from or what they were born into is a part of them, because they themselves are people. And that's what we all are. So with this movie being a 2023 comedy on Netflix, can you guess what the jokes they'll make out of this, though? You know, with this being a comedy? Well, you know, you see when Amira first meets Julia Louis-Dreyfus, she tries to be nice, but says stuff like, Wow, I can't remember the dialogue for reference since it's that forgettable, but it's not worth quoting or, looking back and seeing quote for quote what she says. I'm sure if you watch the trailer, you know exactly what this is. So, I recommend watching the trailer before going to watch this movie. I mean, you're watching my review, but okay, so what she says is basically she's trying to be nice, but it's clearly is being racist without realizing it because she's too ignorant or dumb to realize it. And honestly, I wouldn't mind this, even if it's exaggerated, if it were funny, and it's not. She just comes off as someone who guest hosts on SNL and was given dialogue to say that hopefully would be funny, in the context of being a skit, like, oh, look at the stupid stuff I'm saying, I'm such a dud. But it's way too exaggerated. People can be like this in real life, but it's way too exaggerated for it to work when every scene is just a white person says something racist and tries to dig him or herself out of a hole, only to keep digging their own graves. And since this joke is done over and over again, I didn't realize you can die dozens of times only to come back to die again with an even deeper hole. I do actually remember one bad joke, for example, that being when they rip off South Park. I'm not kidding. You know the joke where Randy is on Wheel of Fortune and says the N-word on television? Well, here at Amira's bachelorette party, which first off, who invites your future mother-in-law to a bachelorette party? I actually don't even remember if she was invited or she just showed up just because. Anyways, yeah, they play hangman at the bachelorette party, and when a category is a group of people, Louis-Dreyfus says, is it an N-word? Like, okay, there's exaggerating, and then there's just people being so unrealistic. You come off as desperate, because there's times where you want to be... Okay, it's like this. It's like a sketch where it wants to be as offensive as possible, but because that's what they're going for, it doesn't come off as, like, actually offensive. It comes off as comedy that wants to be seen as bold, and it's just desperate. So, it's desperate. My point is that it's desperate comedy. Look, I've seen jokes like this that can be funny, and it's not. In fact, this stems from Jonah Hill's character. He's supposed to be this bold and honest podcaster who's not afraid of saying what's his mind and understands time and place about saying his opinion. He's a person. And that is until he has to meet Eddie Murphy, who is future father-in-law, where he becomes a completely different character. Now he's an idiot who, of course, digs his own grave too. Like, hey, we're going to a... Instead of him just being himself, because, bad comedy, instead of just real people, just being actual people. In fact, anything, I thought the movie was going to be like, everyone was going to be exaggerated based on their ethnicity, because it's supposed to be about how, an exaggerated version of people in this life. But only the white people are exaggerated, because... I think I had something else to bring up, but I didn't know how to phrase it. I just don't. And honestly, rewriting it 10 different times and realizing I just don't know how to explain it means I realize this is not worth it. Like, giving my effort into a review for you people is just not worth it, okay? If anything, I just want to wrap this up because I can be so much more passionate about a movie that is as passionate as it is in me as a viewer. But I forgot to mention, they have a lot of lame cameos, and I would have brought that up too earlier, but of course, it waits its own actual cast. Like, there's people like David Duchovny, Nia Long, Molly Gordon, they're given nothing to do. Let's wrap this up by honestly explaining what this movie is. It's afraid to offend you, so it preaches to the choir for messages, but is all so desperate to play it safe, it can't take risks to be something new or shocking enough to be surprisingly funny. But I'll admit that even if I snickered a few times, and here's my defense for the movie, even if I laughed once or twice out loud, it's a kind of comedy you put on in the background that isn't terrible, but you listen to it while you do something else. Like, you put it on while you eat lunch, since it's basically a sitcom. Each scene is just a sitcom. You just go scene to scene of, oh, this joke happens. You don't need to see the context for the rest of the movie. You know exactly what kind of movie it is. If I saw it from the first, if I knew the premise, I would know exactly how it ended without having to watch the movie myself, and I was right. So, it's just that kind of movie. You put it on in the background where I listen to it, I might snicker, but actually sitting down to watch it and see the scenes that are so unfunny go on and on, it's just becomes so obvious how terrible it is. Well, not terrible, it's just bad, because it's not worth getting angry about, okay? Really, this was something hard to write for, because I don't know if I have the passion to go give a Pulitzer Prize winning review of this movie. It's just something that's going to be forgotten, deserving no respect, but no more hatred. Otherwise, me going on a tangent would give it more respect than it deserves, and you people does not deserve that. It's a movie, I'll just scroll on Netflix and be like, Oh yeah, You People. I remember that movie, kind of. Not really. That's my review. I'm tired. I give You People a 3.5 out of 10.